Thanks again for staying with us. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says more than 40% of Nigerian electricity consumers now enjoy over 20 hours of regular power supply. And that's daily. Well, Adelabu stated this during a review of the ministry's achievements over the past year as part of the country's Independence Day celebrations. Adelabu attributed the progress to several factors, and I quote, revolutionary measures implemented with the support of President Bola Tinubu, reflecting on the ministry's progress since the inception of the administration. The minister said the installed generation capacity has increased from 13,000 megawatts to over 14,000 megawatts, and that this was made possible by the addition of new hydroelectric power plants and improvements in existing facilities. Right, well, the question is, are 40% electricity consumers enjoying 20 hours electricity in a day? Well, to help us unravel this is the National Secretary of the Nigeria Electricity Consumer Advocacy Network, Uket Obonga. Good to have you on
Thank you for having me, and good evening, viewers.
So let's first get your thoughts on this quite exciting news that 40% of us, 40% of all 220 million Nigerians have access to 20 hours electricity daily.
Well, to begin with, I think this is not an issue. Electricity shouldn't be an issue for politics or politicking.
You think that's what this is about?
The minister is talking politics. I can tell you authoritatively that he's talking politics. He said 40% of electricity consumers in Nigeria. Now, according to the data, statistical data, we have about 13 million consumers, 13 million. 40% of 13 million is 5.2 million, right? Now, what the minister has really told Nigerians indirectly is that they have moved electricity consumers, 40% of electricity consumers, to band A, because he knows, as we know, and those of us who are in the civil society space, who conduct researches and studies out there. He is sitting in his office in Abuja here. You can't tell me. Before I came here, I put a call to Makodi, Kano, non-metropolis. Non-metropolis. Not people living in Maitama, Asokoro, Gariki, and so forth. The people who are living in Masaka, Ado, will they tell you that they are having? If he's sure of what he's saying, I challenge him to produce the statistical data.
What data do you have? Do you have any contrary figures?
NEC tells the world that they measure hours of supply through the feeders. Do we have access to the feeders? The feeders. How do we measure? I conducted a survey sometime here in Abuja, in some hotels on MD meters, and we discovered that out of 11 months sampled, not 1 month, that they delivered on the committed service level, not 1 month. Everything they are saying here, in April this year, NEC told us 15% of electricity consumers, 15% of 13 million is 1.95 million. Electricity, we are talking data.
Yeah, NEC, just for our viewers, I mean, NEC is the electricity regulator.
Yeah, the regulator. He said 15% of consumers, or 1.95 million, are the ones that are on band A. And that there were 1,048 feeders nationwide on band A. But that they downgraded about 64% or 900 feeders from band A to band B. And only 455 feeders nationwide were on band B. This data is not coming from me. You go to NEC website, you find these things there. So electricity and everything that is about electricity is measurable. Nobody should pull wool on our this thing. Where did the minister have that data? Let him produce it. Let him show it to Nigerians.
But isn't that what we're saying? You don't, with due respect, when we say the minister, he sits down in Abuja. No, I think the NEC and other sectors of the electricity sector, he has first-hand information. So first of all, thanks for the good work you're doing on behalf of consumers like every one of us watching you. But do you also have access, speaking of data, to contradict what the government has said?
I coordinated a national survey on the quality of electricity funded by MacArthur Foundation in partnership with Nestia Power, right? We conduct studies. We conduct field studies. So when we sit here to talk,
we're talking about this very issue.
That is why if you give me time, I'll break down things here for you.
By all means, go ahead.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, very quickly if you can. Yeah.
Now, we are talking of service-based tariff that originated from what was called viable customers. And who are the viable customers? Those in highbrow areas. And to begin with, we are talking of the parameters that informed upgrading a customer from whatever band to band A. Metering level is there. Hours of supply is there.
This conversation is about that data. If it's not 40%, what exactly it is?
It is not 40%. And I'm putting it to you that it is the 40% of consumers that have been indiscriminately upgraded to band A. For example, where we are in Abuja here, in Lugbe here, band C were moved to band A. I had about 14 reports, band C, from band C. And go to that area. I went there, and a few of us, we went there and surveyed the place. Not one customer that was moved from band A, from band C, not even band C to band B, band C to band A.
In other words, if I get you clearly, just so that we can make sense of this conversation, are you saying that every Nigerian electricity consumer is now on band A? Because we're even hearing more and more from consumers that, look, what we're paying now, for example, if you bought 20,000 naira worth of units, ordinarily it should last about 3 weeks. But now it's less than 1 week.
Yes, 2 days, 3 days.
And some are even crying out, saying, look, we don't want to be on band A anymore. Yes, we're getting 20 hours or more, but please take us out of band A.
They have given the discourse, the latitude to upgrade consumers indiscriminately. Listen, AEDC had 208 feeders on band A before 3rd of April. They were downgraded to 107. Now, in the past few months, they have upgraded 45, 40, 50. Now it's above what it originally was. So I have told you that go to some estates. Now the basis for upgrading is that, okay, you have organized settlements like estates. Then all of you. It is not the number of hours per se.
Right.
And that is why we are saying that if they are sure, if they know that they should bring out the data, they should tell us the customer clusters, the feeders, let them expose it. Let us push it. We are here to go in there to verify their claims. You don't sit somewhere and say it is 40%. There is nothing.
We're still, we're always emotional when it comes to electricity issues, and we always try not to stay on the issue. The issue is about the 40% that the government has said people now get electricity supply. And I say, if you say it's incorrect, and you just told us MacArthur and Next Year Power have worked with you, what percentage do you have to contradict the 40%?
What the minister has claimed.
Still, I haven't gotten that.
Yes. If where we are in Metama, Abuja, you are given 20 hours of electricity or above that, right? In statistics, you should tell us the number of feeders and the customer clusters within Maitama, Asokoro, and now place it side by side with the customer population of Abuja.
So in other words, you just had a guess. So you don't have the statistics.
We surveyed Ibadan Disco, Ikeja Disco, Kaduna Disco, Port Harcourt Disco, Bini Disco. We went round. If I knew that this would come up, I would have. I would have given you.
Of course, that's the issue.
I would have given you this report.
That's the essence of this conversation.
23% of supply. You have a month of June, for instance, where you have 30 days, 24 hours in a month, and the disco is supposed to supply or deliver 20 hours. The committed service level is 30 times 24, right? Now, but when you now go in and measure, where do we measure? We measure from the meter. The meter has historical record of outages. We go in there, extract this information. And now when you place it side by side with, I've told you that we did it in Abuja here.
You can also
you can
also measure from the feeders, and
the feeder is only open to
for those who have
what are the customers?
And for those who have the for those who also have the SCADA system, you also have access, because your body is a very fantastic body, and you have access to the discos. So I would have thought that you would have liaised with some of these discos, get information from those feeders, get information from those that have SCADAs, like Eco Disco that has SCADA, and get us a figure that is showing whether the minister has lied or not.
Well, to begin with, it was just this evening I was called upon to come there.
Okay, so you plan, are you going to go back after this conversation?
If we have opportunity, we'll come in here and make presentations to Nigeria to put a lie.
Absolutely, you have a carte blanche. As soon as you're done with the investigation, whatever you come up with, please feel free to come back to Arise News and give us the true state of things. Thank you very much, Uket Obonga.